Okay. So, and this one, guys, is going to be the important one. And this one is what really kind of breaks it with the CYA. So it increases the need for chlorine. And I think
Correct.
this is the one, I think this is the one that we need to explain, and guys, you guys need to understand, because to me, it's like we should be working with a little sheet, right? That has the little calculation that tells you how much of that free chlorine is going to be. So how does it increase the need for chlorine?
Okay, perfect. So here's the ratio now. So for when you have a conditioned pool, right? You need to take into effect, you need to know, first of all, exactly what your conditioner level is. And we're going to say round easy numbers just so it makes it easier, right? So I don't have to rack my brain and figure things out. So if you have a pool that has 100 parts per million of conditioner, right? 7.5% of your conditioner reading you need to have in your pool is free total chlorine, right? Or free available chlorine. So if your conditioner level's at 100, you need to have a FC reading of 7.5 in order for it to be effective in the pool. And the reason why is because of that binding, right? So it bounds that chlorine and holds it. And you need a certain amount of chlorine or free available chlorine or HOCl in the water so that you can kill chlorine, or you can kill algae, for instance, or viruses and bacteria. The figure is you need 0.05% of HOCl in the water. And in order to achieve that, you need to have roughly, on average, 7.5% of your CYA reading of free chlorine in the pool. Anything less than that is when you start to have issues. And I think that's where the problem, where a lot of guys, and when they don't understand that, is they go, hey, I have a free reading of 5 in my pool, right? 5 parts per million, or 4 parts per million in my pool, but yet I'm still getting algae, right? Or my water's still a little cloudy and I'm having issues and I don't understand why. Well, the reason why is, and it's almost, if your filtration's good, right, you got all that going for you in the runtime, and your filters are good, if your chlorine level isn't killing, it's probably because your CYA level, it's not to that ratio. So if you had 100 parts per million of CYA in that pool and you had 4 parts per million of chlorine, you're missing out. You need an additional 3.5 parts per million in order for it to sanitize or disinfect. Algae is always in the water, right? And it's always reproducing. And that figure of that 0.05 of HOCl is how much chlorine you need to have available in order to overcome the growth rate of algae in your pool, because it will always multiply and grow. And if you're below that threshold, then you just get overwhelmed by the algae, and then the chlorine just can't keep up. So as it's giving that extra 3% and replenishing, algae is multiplying at 4, 6, 8, you know what I mean?
A lot faster rate.
A lot faster. And that's where that percentage comes in. And that's the biggest downfall that everybody has when they're servicing pools, and they just don't get it. And they don't understand, I got chlorine in the water, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but yet I'm still having issues or algae problems in my pool. And that's the reason why 9 out of 10 times.